Welcome to the Inspiration Station hosted by Joshua Lenox, the place to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Hey, y'all. It is Friday. Y'all already know this is the Inspiration Station. And what do? We upsize in 2025. We do that all day, every hour, every minute, every second, every millisecond. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't have to keep going. Y'all get the picture, right? Welcome to Friday, y'all. It is June the 17th. Sorry, y'all. June the 27th. What is wrong with me? I'm not going backwards. I'm going forwards. So we're not going back. Today is the 27th, and I just want to say, what an amazing month this has already been, y'all. We are already through half of the year and getting ready to go into a new month of July next week. Can you believe that? And I know each and every one of you are doing your absolute best to maximize all of your time, spreading love, y'all. As I always say, we need to spread love more now than ever, providing unity among each other, with each other. Spending time with each other, spending time with ourselves, loving on others, taking care of ourselves, living our best life each and every day. I know sometimes we working and we're doing things and you're being productive, and I like to say productively busy. We're being very productive and producing so much day in and day out, but not forgetting to make sure that you are living a life of quality, and not always chasing quantity. I need to write that down. You're living a life of quality and not always chasing quantity, because even in that quality, you're producing a quantity that's going to be in the long game of things, where you're going to be able to have things that sustain you for the rest of your life. So I want to say hi to everyone. Welcome each and every one of you. Those who are, if it's your first time, I want to say welcome, welcome. Don't you? You can't. You're not a stranger now, so you have to come every Friday. And if you don't come every Friday, I'm going to come talk to you in your dream. I'm telling you, no, no. But make sure you come back and come back each and every week and share this, y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all have really been sharing. Y'all have been seeing these numbers really increase highly on YouTube. It was Facebook at first. It seemed like we're in a competition with Facebook and YouTube, but the numbers have gone up tremendously with YouTube. And I have to say, I appreciate each and every one of you for sharing, showing up. And I'm just excited about what God is doing through this, because y'all, this was not something that I actually intended to do. This was not something that I would have said, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. But it was impressed upon me with God's hand, of course. And then again, I just said, Lord, what's the worst thing I can do? What's the worst thing that can happen other than it do very well? And it is. So I want that to encourage each and every one of you. We're just going to kind of link into what we're going to talk about tonight. But just knowing that you don't have to start major. I think you need so much or need so many things to just get a start on something. Nothing is small when you start. And, sometimes we say, even the word says despise not small beginnings, but I think it's about how you want to see it. Is it small, or is it just the beginning of something huge? It's the beginning of something huge. Is it really small, or is it the beginning of something huge? I like to go with it's the beginning of something huge. So I want to say hello to all y'all on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live, and all to my beautiful listeners that are on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and Audible. Y'all are almost just get, tongue-tied with that, which I think that's a blessing, because it might be some other things that are going to be added to that very soon. So let's get started, y'all. I know this is a Friday. I want you to have your evening. You work so hard during the week, and through your day. And I just want to drop this nugget on you. As y'all know, we do every Friday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let's get right into it. What is the Inspiration Station? Just for you all who have never heard or never known, this might be your first time. Inspiration Station is literally a name that I was given, a nickname I was given in 2012, because again, the person told me they felt like I was like a radio station that's sending out all of these frequencies that people need to hear. It's like I know exactly what they need to hear. So never thought about it after that too much. I thought it was very catchy, but not knowing that, fast forward, here we are in 2025, and I'm before you. But the Inspiration Station is not just about Josh and his life and how he inspires others or himself, but it's about you. You are the inspiration station. I guarantee you inspire many people, whether they tell you or not. People who may never utter a word, maybe a stranger that you cross paths with, that you inspire. You just never know. But also, you are inspiration to yourself. I guarantee you, and I just shut down those voices of saying, I don't inspire myself and I don't inspire nobody else. You look at your life. and you look at where you've come to at this very moment, even as you're watching this or listening to this, you have gone through so many things. And again, this doesn't have to mean we look at this in a negative way or a bad way, because every challenge and obstacle you needed to become even a better version of who you are today. And you are definitely an inspiration to yourself. Just start to look back and reflect sometimes, and I promise you it can give you that extra push when you're in tough times, even right now, to know, you know what? If I got through those things, I can get through this. If I tried that before and I succeeded, I can try this and succeed as well today. So, also, what do you expect from what is this inspiration station all about? This is another place where we're going to be. We practice definitely being open, honest, and vulnerable with others, but also with ourselves, and that can be the greatest challenge. Really, really, really being honest, brutally honest with yourself, with love, of course, and being just raw to yourself. Also, this is a place where we was definitely celebrating lives through several interviews that I'll be doing with people, whether people that I'm sorry, you may not know, never heard their names before, never even know who they were, but you may also come across people that you have admired from a distance. You watched them on television, movies, you listen to their music. They've been a high influencer to you. You may even have seen them on certain sports that you enjoy. So just look forward to that and look out for those things that are coming. And we get to interview those lives and people being open and honest, and you get to see them outside of the great things that they do, but you learn more about who they are. I always say sometimes what's magnified is what somebody does, and we forget about who the person is, which is the greatest part of that. So another thing I want to add to. And what do we talk about expecting here on the Inspiration Station? This is a place where you're not only inspired or motivated or encouraged in what you're hearing or what I'm saying or anyone is saying, but it's also to encourage you to go into action, to make movement in your life. This is not a 12-step program or anything like that. But the things that you get and gain from the Inspiration Station, I guarantee when you leave here, you're going to want to move your feet to do something or change your thoughts, your way of thinking, uh, write some things down, think about some things, sit on some things, ponder about some things, and ultimately getting you to move and make some steps, whether that be micro steps. I don't care if it's baby steps. I don't care if you got to crawl. Make some level of steps, because I guarantee you keep making those small steps, it's going to add up to those major steps and those major leaps that you're going to be taking here soon. And y'all, we might be in the halfway, we passed the half mark, but there are so many things that you're going to do in the remainder of this year. There's so many things that God wants to pour out on you. There's so many things that He has in store for you. You just got to keep showing up, and you got to do your part, and you got to partner with Him and bringing these things to pass, because I guarantee you, if you've been shown it and if he's given it to you and you have this urge to do things, it's because that's exactly what you're supposed to do. And it's no need to wait. It's no need to stall. It's no need to wait for the greatest things or the greatest time. It's not. The time is now to do that. So let's get right into it. I'm kind of talking about the stuff I'm going to talk about tonight, but let's jump into it, y'all. I'm going to be quick. But the title of tonight, what we want to talk about is just, it doesn't have to make sense to make sense. I'm quiet for a reason. I'm gonna let this sit for a second. It doesn't have to make sense to make sense. And what I mean with those sense sense to make cents. So financial gain. I know sometimes we think of sense, we only think about pennies and we only think about, nickels, dimes, and quarters, but again, just meaning in financial gain. So what you have, I'm gonna say what you have within you, your gifts, talents, abilities, those visions, those dreams, things, the creative ideas, the innovations and things of that nature, it doesn't have to make sense, sense, to make sense, cents. I want to kind of get started talking about really quick with, I think about one of the greatest inventions I think I am just enamored by is airplanes, our airplanes. And then knowing that those things were invented by the Wright brothers. And, I went to school with them. And I actually sat there and watched them draw those plans out, and I added in my extra credit a lot of times. I still haven't got my royalties from their family. But anyway, now that I've come out of fairy tale land, but I love, of course, I love to fly. I've loved to fly since I was a child, very young. I think my first flight was about 4 years old, and I would love to look in get in the window seat. I still do. I like to get in the window seat and look, and somebody's next to me they probably nervous, want to turn their head and everything, but I like looking at the clouds and watching us ascend and then even descend. So it's something that's always been a favorite thing of mine to do is get on a plane. And the Wright brothers are very important and intricate because if it was not for them, none of you all would be flying. I know there are frequent flyers on here, and if it wasn't for them, we would not be in planes, and it would just be let's see, it would just be trains and automobiles, not planes, trains and automobiles. It would be trains and automobiles. So I think about that though, you guys. I've heard their story, I've read upon it, and knowing that, they had this idea, and think about all the attempts that they made, and just maybe even the first thought or thinking, it's like, what were they thinking? What were they sitting in a room together? Were they eating breakfast together? Were they at school, or not so much at school, but were they working or doing something where they just had that? And again, let me go back to that, because sometimes when I say at school, you think about, even as a child, there can be certain things that are in you that you see and you like, I don't know how that can happen, but I can't stop thinking about it. And it might not come to fruition, and you might not put it into development until you're an adult. So it's like getting in the mind of the Wright brothers, like, how did that even cultivate in them? What did they see that struck them or triggered something in them to say, hey, you ever thought about this? Let me draw this out. Have you ever seen this? Or, how did you come up with something like that? And I think that's something that can, and not think, I know that's something that can only be implanted by God, because we all are born with a solution to a problem. We're all born with something to produce here that's never been seen before. And also, sometimes we talk about inventions being a thing. What if you're an invention that doesn't need a patent? That's kind of good. That's kind of good. I never think about it. What if you're the invention that doesn't need a patent, meaning you don't need a stamp of approval from anybody to produce those things that you want to produce? You as the person, what you will produce might need a stamp in a sense, as far as business wise or things of that nature. But what if you're the invention? You are what was put here. That doesn't need a stamp to produce what you want to produce. You don't need somebody's approval or a pat on the back to say, hey, that's a great idea. Hey, I think you should do that, because you're going to have a lot of people who come against what you want to do. And I'm sure even with the Wright brothers, think about how ridiculous that may have sounded to someone at the time. You've never seen this before. You see planes what are you talking about, planes? Flying something off the ground? This ain't the Jetsons. So it's like, what? This is crazy. This doesn't even make sense. How is something going to get off of the ground, and let alone be used for, and we think fast forward, used for agriculture, used for transporting goods, used for transporting people all over the world. Every time a plane comes, backs up from a airport or anything of that nature, and flies and departs or arrives, the Wright brothers started that. And this happens. We always see planes everywhere we go. Everywhere we go, there are airplanes. There's an airport everywhere we go, in every country. You see how what might have been a small implanting idea develop into something that would literally touch every crevice, nook and cranny across the entire globe. But what would have happened if they would have never gone through with it? I'm sure people mocked them. Actually, from what I've read, people mocked them. People didn't understand, and they were men of faith, and so people, think about going to church and stuff. People probably still who had faith were probably like, this sounds ridiculous. Like, this sounds crazy. You guys, you need to stick to something else. Stick to what you know. But look at what happened by them taking a leap and trying. They had failures. There had to be. You don't start something new like that and think this is going to take off immediately. No pun intended, but it take off immediately. But there were several tries, but guess what? They got it right at some point. And because of that, look at what replicated over time. And look at the multiple airlines. Look at I'm just going with the not so much commercial airlines or things like that. I'm saying commercial airlines, meaning like, y'all know Delta, American Airlines, but there have been several names of airlines for several decades, so things that don't even exist anymore. But look how it replicated off of them. going through with what their idea is. So again, I'm pretty sure it didn't make sense to anybody when they set out to do this, but it sure enough made sense. CENTS and then some. Dollar bills, y'all, still to this day. So what I'm wanting to drive home with that, and like I said, it's not going to be too much I want to say after that, too much today, but after that, just thinking, what is on the inside of you that you know is something that could be, even if it doesn't make sense to you right now, but it's like, I keep having this idea. I keep wanting to produce this. I keep wanting to create this. I keep wanting to uh, put something out there like this, but I just don't know if this can even be something that I can financially gain from or whatever, or even if it's going to make sense to anybody else. So, one thing I want to jump to is creativity and imagination. Sometimes you have to go back to being having like childlike faith. You remember as a kid, you immediately, I'm gonna be a doctor, I'm gonna be a nurse, I'm gonna be this, and no one could tell you any different. You had such a you had fearlessness because again, you weren't really tainted yet, hadn't experienced too much adversity or opposition yet. Maybe not for some people, but most likely probably haven't experienced anything that would steal that from you right away, to where you had a zest and a zeal to want to do something, and no one could tell you any different. I think about, when a kid has they want to do a lemonade stand. Now, again, does that really make sense? Maybe, yeah, because we see it all the time, but to that person, it's like, well, what am I going to do? How is this going to make me any different? Everybody has a lemonade stand, but what might set this person apart? Maybe they have a lemonade stand where they serve it with certain types of ice or a different type of cup that stands out, or maybe they have a slogan that just grabs you in, or maybe they sing a jingle with it when you come up to this lemonade stand, or maybe they partner it with a snack or something like that that they give you, or a takeaway, or a toy, or a gift. I'm just using examples to say, even though there are several different lemonade stands, as kids, there may be something that sets this lemonade stand apart because they're doing something that's never been seen before. And it's actually probably bringing in a lot of money. And they might be out there every day in the summertime because people will keep coming back because it's like, yeah, everybody has lemonade stands, but it's something with this lemonade stand. I've never seen this type of production or what they're giving or what they're producing. I've never seen this type of cup or this type of service. Or like I said, as an example, a jingle, or, it's a certain slogan that pulls somebody in. So again, whereas, you think about seeing several restaurants and things of that nature all over this world. You can have a restaurant that has the same types of things at another place. Like you look at McDonald's and Burger King, those places pretty much serve the same thing, but there's intricate differences that set them apart that neither one of them can provide. So again, they're totally different. And we'll say innovative restaurants that provide a different experience, a different taste. They have hamburgers and fries, but they do not taste the same. So it's like, what kind of faith or childlike faith do you need to have to be creative? And even if you see something that seems similar to what you want to produce, but what stands out about you? What's different? And then again, how do you know that this won't take off and duplicate and be replicated? And this might be something that spreads like wildfire all over the world. Who knows? You never know. Because again, sometimes what is this F word that likes to come into play sometime? Fear, right? Some of y'all, I hope you weren't going in another direction because that's not what I was going to say, but fear. You have fear thinking, will things work out? Will this really work? Will this thing really work? No, I've never seen this before. I don't know. Will people be receptive to it? Will I really make money from this? This is something I think I want to take a venture into that I hope to, have some financial gain with, but I'm scared. I've never seen this before. I've never seen this done before either. So it's like you think about all the inventions, and I use the Wright brothers only as one example, but think about all of the inventions we have, y'all. Excuse me, all the things that we have, even what I'm talking on right now. Who invented the microphone? What were they thinking when they thought, let's amplify sound, let's get this, let's change the volume, let's play around with certain acoustics or things of that nature. What were they thinking? Were they very confident? Did they know that people were going to be using these forever and using them for several different things? I'm not sure they did. When it starts as that idea, you might not know exactly what it's going to do, where it's going to go, when you're going to do it, how it's going to affect things. You don't really know. But if they would have stayed with those fears of wondering, will this really work? Are people going to be receptive? Or also, will I make money from this? We would not have a lot of things we have today. But I want to say this too. A caveat to that is sometimes what God gives us, a lot of times if God can give you something, if you don't do it and you keep sitting on it and you keep on, that fear takes over and you're not conquering that fear because fear will show up. You're not conquering that fear or pushing past it. He'll give it to somebody else. And then when they do it, you're probably going to have to witness it. And then you'll be kicking yourself like, but I had that idea. And they say, well, why didn't you move on it? Why didn't you move on it? Why not? Why not try it? Why not be something that knowing that you're something that's what you have to produce to this world is so unique, just like your fingerprints that people really need. And at the same time, maybe that's not the most important thing about if people are going to be receptive or people need it. Maybe the most important thing is I need to do it. I need to try. Because what's the worst thing that can really happen? And I know you're thinking like, oh, the worst thing could probably happen is that I fail. I don't think that's the worst thing. I think that's great. That's a great thing because it might not mean that you fail and you stop with it. You might just pivot and learn how to make it greater, make it better the next go round. I'm again with the Wright brothers. I'm pretty sure their first few planes they put together or had people to manufacture. I'm pretty sure they might have barely got off the ground. Who knows? Maybe that's why Amelia Earhart never was found. Anyway, that's a side. Anyway. But yeah, what's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is that you sit on your idea and do nothing. That's the worst thing the absolute worst thing that can happen is that you sit on your idea and you do nothing about it. I say it often, all the time, that there are people and places that are waiting for you to show up and they're waiting for you to do what you do. You could definitely be a life changer. You are a life changer. And you have the capacity to produce things that people have never seen, that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard, neither has it entered into the hearts of man what the Lord has prepared for you. So whatever He's prepared in you, He's needing you to, He wants you to produce that out of you. He needs you to produce that out of you because we need it. You need it. This could be so a certain thing you might withhold within yourself that can set your life on fire in a good way. And it might put you in a financial place that you never even imagined. So I want to say this too. You don't know until you show. You don't know until you show. Y'all remember show and tell in school? Like you go like the kids, everybody had a turn and they could bring in whatever it is, and you had the time to describe everything and the reason why you brought it and the meaning it is to you. That's almost like when you were selling something. It's almost like you were selling something to your class. This is why I brought this, and this means this, and that means that, and da. It was like we were being taught how to market things that are meaningful to us. What if that's something that you need to implement right now? You don't know until you show. What do I mean by that? You don't know how well this is going to go for you until you show what it is. We need to see it. We need to see it and do show and tell. That's all it is. Sell it, market it, whatever it is, whatever rooms you got to get into, whatever connections you need to get to. And sometimes you might have to be like that lemonade stand with that lemonade stand mentality and get out there and do what you can at the moment. I think about like I remember seeing people selling their albums and stuff out of their when I was growing up as a kid, see it out of their cars, and some of them became artists that we all have listened to. So it's like, what is it going to take for you? It doesn't have to take much but a try, but an effort, but a belief. Even if it's just for that day, each day you have to renew your belief and your faith in what you're wanting to put out in the world. I don't care if it's a song. I don't care if it's, I don't know, a new car, a new line of cars, a radio station, a clothing line that people have never seen before, a new invention of something that we all need. I don't know. There's so many things that I know that we don't want to go to the grave with what we were supposed to give to the world. We don't want to go to the grave with what was supposed to be a rave. That's good. That just came to me. We don't want to go to a grave with what was supposed to be a rave, holding those treasures. We've been trusted with treasure, but we're not supposed to keep it. So we can't get stagnant. We can't be stifled by fear. Do what you have never do what you know has never been seen before that you are supposed to produce. Um, Last thing, if God gave you the dream, if He gave you the vision, if He gave you the goal, or if he gave you the idea, he has given you the capacity to fulfill it and carry it out. I'll say that one more time, y'all. If God gave you the vision, the dream, the goal, or the idea, he has given you the capacity to fulfill it and carry it out. And only you can do it. We don't want to, I don't want you to miss out. And you have to see that passed on, that torch passed on to somebody else. And then you have to witness it. And you're like, I wanted to do that. And I said, well, why didn't you do it? And as I said before, what's the worst thing that can happen? Because again, you got it in you because you can carry it out and you are going to be successful with it. You are going to be great at it. You are going to be magnificent in it. You're going to impact many lives with it, including yourself. So just because it seems strange, it seems out of the ordinary, it seems like something that, again, is unusual. You've never seen it before, but that's why you can see it. So we need to see what you see. You don't know until you show. So let's get this show and tell mentality and whatever you have, because I know every listener that every listener and every person who's watching right now, you got some things in you that you have not produced or put out yet. You do. I know. Stop. Don't shake your head and say no. You haven't. Even if you are, because everybody on here is greatly successful and you're doing a great job where you are right now. And you probably produced a lot so far. There's more. There's more. And watch those things that you step out on. Watch God meet you and also exceed the need of things that you're going to need. You thinking, I don't have the resources, I don't have the people, I don't have this. That's okay. As you move, I guarantee stuff starts to come to you. And as you affirm yourself and speak over yourself, speak those things that are not as though they were every day. Speak those things that are not as though they were. And again, if you have to renew your belief every day, do so. If I have to wake up and say, I believe again that what I have and what I'm carrying and what I want to produce is going to do great for me. And it's going to be something that is going to change my life as well as others. I'm sure if I could have had a conversation with the Wright brothers, which I did, y'all, they still owe me royalties. All the airplane designs and stuff, I did that. I'm just saying, I did. Did y'all hear that lightning? Oh Lord, let me stop lying. But anyway, I would have loved to sit in their space to pick their brains to see like, wow, where did this come from? Like this is crazy. Did you have a dream about this? And you know what? There are people around you or people that you've seen create things. I have many people in my life that have created things that nobody's or created things or done things that nobody has ever done before. I'm one of those people. But at the same time, it takes courage. But you've got it. We just don't want to see, again, don't go to the grave with stuff that treasures in you that's supposed to be a rave. Don't go to the grave with treasures in you that are supposed to be a rave. All right? I love y'all so much. I told y'all I wasn't going to be long. Please let this word, let this message, let this moment right here really settle in you and just allow you to think. You don't have to do something right away. You're going to though. You don't have to do something right away. Maybe you need to go back to the drawing board. Some of y'all probably have vision boards. You done wrote it down. You've been talking about it long enough. And it's like, what can be a micro step today? Maybe that first step is to really brainstorm. Maybe that first step is to research. Maybe the next step is to find resources. Maybe the next step is to go on to YouTube or some level of outlet to where you're able to, find out more information on what it's like to get something started. If you have an idea, and again, sometimes it's just word of mouth. And y'all see the power of social media. What? What? It's limitless. You're limitless. You're not limited in anything. But start even if it's with a micro step. Okay. And it don't think like it has to be some large scale thing right now. Because I guarantee you, with what you think is that small idea, could be something that is enormous that you have not even could not even fathom yet. Okay? So have an amazing rest of this evening. I love y'all so much, and I know that I'm talking to a lot of people out there who are going to develop and produce things that we've never seen before. And it's going to be magical. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be something that's exciting, something to be congratulated, something to be celebrated. And don't get caught up on thinking about timing, because sometimes You can be accelerated to do things because maybe some things have been sitting with you long enough. It's like, okay, as soon as you get to moving your feet on this, skyrocket. Could be the very thing that's going to set you on, again, set your life on fire in a good way to where you are set financially and where people is going to, again, replicate and be duplicated. And what I mean duplicated just mean like it's going to be continued, it's going to be copied and replicated all over. So, love y'all again. Spread love as much as possible. Go out there and remember, it doesn't have to make sense to make money. Your idea, all those innovations in you, those creative thoughts and ideas, it might even make you look at yourself and say, this don't even, I don't know. You scratching your head and everything, but you won't know until you show. Okay. So, as I always tell you guys, you've always been great. You're just getting better. You got to believe that. You've always been great, even no matter what circumstances, no matter what people have said to you, no matter how people have made you feel, no matter how you even have thought about yourself, you've always been great. You're just getting better. So please continue to share as much as possible as you all are doing. Thank you so much for that. And again, if you are not following me already, please follow me. Like every video, share it, subscribe to me as well. I believe it's going to be another opening soon about where we're another platform. So I'll let you guys know. And again, y'all, we will be interviewing some people very soon. A lot of people are busy right now. It's summertime. They're booked and busy. A lot of people traveling, performing. They got dates lined up. So I'm having to kind of work with people's schedule, but I have no problem with that. So good things definitely, great things definitely come with anticipation. And when we wait a little, have to wait a little longer. So again, you've always been great. You're just getting better. Hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, a safe weekend. Y'all, this is the last weekend of June. All right, let that be something. It don't take long. That's what I'm going. I think that's a revelation. It doesn't take long. We just like we just started in this month. It doesn't take long to get to the next level or to the next month or to the next. Y'all get me. You get into the next month, but we're also the next level in your life. It doesn't have to take long. Those things that you want, that you desire, you've been praying for, crying for, sowing for, waiting for years, and trusting God on. It doesn't have to take long because He could do it just like that. And I pray that that's some things that you all start to see even before the rest of in these next days of this month. So talk to y'all later. Y'all quit talking to me and responding to me. I want to say I see all of y'all out there, especially y'all on this YouTube. Y'all, the numbers are out of this world. And I just say to God be the glory. So again, see y'all next Friday when at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time right here on the Inspiration Station where we do what? We upsize in 2025 all day, every day. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for watching The Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.